3, 2, 1.
Attention hobbyists, sports fans, and collectors nationwide and abroad. It's time to get hype. Come on. About the hobby we are all a part of. Live from the Mojo Break Studios, it's Dan and Doug. Check it out. Come on! So, get hype. Be hype. This is The Hype.
What is going down, everybody? Thank you for joining us on MojoBreak.com's The Hype, back for another episode 45 coming at you. Lots of stuff to talk about today. We've got breaks here at MojoBreak.com all day long. We got a cheap new football, Classics football. We got a nice random team of that, $27.99. We've got our graded greats, which I believe C-Red just pulled like a silver Ben Simmons and a Mike Trout in the same case. So we got another case today, case number 10. We've got some Leaf Ultimate, new 2018 on-card rookies, Tier 1, all kinds of stuff going down. And check out our YouTube videos we did at the NFL Rookie Premiere a couple weeks back. We did breaks with Sam Darnold, Sony Michel, Kalen Ballage, Bradley Chubb. It was a fun event. Check out those videos and please comment and like those and let your friends know. It's a good insight on the NFL players with trading cards and their experiences becoming NFL pros. So be sure to check that out. Dan, what's going down, man?
What's up? Just getting off the heels of Tier 1 being released, and we just did the newly Panini-released basketball product of...
Dominion? Well, we have Essentials now.
Essentials. I almost called it Elements. It's going to be hard for me to not call it Elements going forward. But it's Essentials. There is going to be Elements Football, which we were talking about briefly in the broadcast earlier today, which I think is going to be an amazing product. But yeah, I'm stoked.
Lots of E names in this hobby. More product lines with E in it than any other industry in the world.
Think we've talked about that before.
E and I.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's not Dominion. Dominion wasn't bad. I like Dominion. Spectra coming out in 2 weeks. Get ready for Spectra. I think that's going to be the bomb. So
yeah, nice new white sparkle parallels and that 1780 rookies. It's going to be a good set to collect for basketball. C-Rad, how happy are you today? That's right, the Dubs, baby, the Dubs again.
Was there a game?
I think there was.
There was.
Yeah.
Brent, where you at?
I know. Where is he? He's Ghost.
I'm surprised they didn't really talk too much about Harden just taking off his jersey and just bouncing.
Yeah, he was a sore sport.
Didn't shake any hands, didn't do anything. What's up with that? I can tell you right now, if the Warriors would have lost and Curry or Draymond Green or Kevin Durant would have done that, we would have been talking about it still.
Oh yeah.
It got swept under the rug. I guess it's like, oh, it's cool. He's the MVP. He's James Harden. He just he's upset that he didn't win. So
he can do what
it's
he wants.
okay.
He can do what he wants.
I mean, the only person I've seen to do that was the King. And that kind of was a story for a while.
It was.
But people did move on.
They did.
Somehow James Harden was able to do it, and it wasn't a story. So that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe people
because
like
people
him.
feel bad for him, his loss, and blah blah blah. CP3, anyways. But I wanted to start on this topic. We've kind of talked about this over the years, and it's always good to revisit this, especially in the kind of market that we're in right now with everything selling so well, and all these sports have big cards that are getting pulled and selling for big dollars. I wanted to talk about the hobby health going forward as an investment, going forward as a genre. Just kind of touch on everything because, we all invest. You guys are watching this show, listening to this show on iTunes, which if you are watching the show on YouTube and you don't have a chance to watch it live, you can download our podcast on iTunes under Mojo Break to listen to it in your car, at the gym, wherever you listen to audio, put it right next to your Joe Rogan podcast. But anyways, we don't talk about this. We want to revisit this and talk about the health of the hobby and what could possibly happen to, cause this hobby to go on a downturn. What are some of the reasons? So I wanted to kind of lead the discussion here with you guys and ask you some questions about what your thoughts are on it. Now, guys, we all live it and breathe it every day, more than casual hobbyists here at Mojo Break, but, we're looking at everything. So, Dan, have we peaked? Everybody talks about the bubble. Has this hobby peaked? Are we at a peak right now?
Well, considering 17-18 basketball, considering 17 baseball and 17 or 18 baseball, at least the start of 18 baseball, it's been in 10 years. It's nothing like we've ever seen. We've seen certain categories, certain sports perform and overly perform, but we haven't seen all of them perform at the same time.
Right.
And we're going into the 18 football season, and it looks like we're going to have the end of 17-18. So you're going to have Immaculate and Flawless and some other releases that are going to come out, which are going to be hot. You're going to have the start of the 18 products, the NFL products, not the collegiate stuff. Those are going to be really hot. And we're going to be going right into the All-Star break into baseball. And that's when baseball products start really heating up as well. So uncharted territories, at least for the time that we've been doing it, 10 years, we haven't seen anything quite like it. We've seen peaks and valleys with certain categories, but none of them just on fire at the same time. So is the bubble going to burst? I don't know. I mean, I think we've already talked about at least football. 2013, I always go back to 2013 football because nobody wanted it. Nobody latched onto a player. And that was actually, if you look at the draft class, there's a lot of good players in the league right now that came out of the 13 football rookie class. But it was never collectible. It was never, Geno Smith and E.J. Manuel didn't drive those products. So I don't know. It's hard to say. There's variables that can happen. None of the quarterbacks can play in the 2018 draft class. That may affect it a little bit. Or if some of them do play, they may not perform to what expectations are. Baseball, it's driven by Ohtani, but right after the All-Star break, you start seeing a lot more prospects being brought up to the show.
Right.
So, and that also is going to drive the products as well. Yep. So right now you have Acuna and you have Ohtani. You have that kid Soto that just got brought up for the Nationals. So,
well, and you also have a ripple effect from Ohtani because people see what the prices are on the Ohtani, and they're like, well, if Ohtani sells for $4,000, I could buy this kid Soto for $400, $500, $600, $700. And, so there's a ripple effect from that. But I was just kind of came up with a thought now is that we're kind of in the infancy stages, and this may sound really dumb here, but I'm going to try to articulate it the best possible way, is we're kind of in the infancy stages of the internet for this hobby in a sense. So when we were breaking in 2011, 2012, I don't think we were at almost 100% social media. Like, I think we are at the point now where I think the guys that collected vintage and stuff that were in their 60s and 70s, those guys probably are on the internet now, at least in some regard. If it's not Facebook, they probably don't have Instagram, but they probably don't have Twitter. So the amount of FaceTime the hobby's getting is at an all-time high.
I got a question about that, though. What do you think the social media aspect brings to the hobby? Like, what, especially for what you're saying, the people who have been, collecting vintage for a while, and now they're starting to get on the social media train. What pros is that bringing to?
Let me rephrase it. Social media is one aspect of it. I'm talking about the internet as a whole, but the availability to buy on the internet, eBay.
Okay.
So the availability that eBay is now a marketplace that you could sell your cards on, and you could find true, real value and data of what your card is worth. So if you have a 52 Mantle or whatever card you have a silver Ben Simmons, you can see, okay, the last one sold for $1,500. So that's kind of where I'm at on my card as far as my investment. So that wasn't around. Obviously back in 2000, obviously in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s when cards were thrown in bike spokes, but we have it now. And how I'm saying, and I know the internet's been around for almost 15, 20 years now, but I think the hobby was always behind on that. That's why the card shops thrived, and that's why Beckett price guides thrived. I think we have now that the general population that collects is 95% online. I mean, even if they're not buying online, they're in forums. They're connecting with their friends that collect cards. They're connecting with, Instagram posts from Panini or Topps, and they're seeing these new sets come out. So it's causing them to spend more money than they did. So I think we're still, like I said, we're still in that infancy stage where could this wear off and become old? Buying online, could that become old as well? We have to reinvent ourselves. So I'm just saying, I think we don't have enough data to know. But all we know is that the Ohtani cards are crazy because of the internet. Obviously, he's performing. And all these prospect stuff go up because of the reports and the stuff online and things like that. So
you're saying having access to real-time market value is what...
One aspect of it, yeah.
Is definitely... And I get that because some of these collectors who were doing it in the 80s and 90s, you would get your perceived value when you would get your monthly Beckett.
Right.
And you're just looking at black and white, but that's a number. That's not a true value of what somebody is willing to pay.
Right.
Now, you are able to go on eBay and look at it and go, that card sold for $32.
Right.
That is the true value of this card that I'm holding on to right now. At this moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe it's the being accessible, like having the true value accessible at any time.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. And then breaks, obviously, still in its infancy stages. We started in 2010. I mean, it's grown to heights that we never would have predicted. I mean, we never thought we would be doing this show. We thought we'd be doing it part-time as just a way of having fun and collecting and being part of this thing. We didn't think it would grow to where it's at today, where we're doing 10, 15 breaks a day. We didn't think it was going to ever get this big. But the accessibility to collectors is what's caused it to, grow so much. But my question is for the hobby health, at what point can the internet cause overproduction? Are we approaching overproduction? What are your thoughts on possible overproduction?
The key for that is solely up to the manufacturers. They have to be responsible in making these products, because let's face it, they can keep, and that's actually not true. So everything is based around inventory when it comes to autographs and relics. So they're actually at a disadvantage because they can't keep the presses running. It's not like the late 80s and early 90s where they can make 4 million packs of cards, because they have to put in X amount of autos or X amount of relics, and they have to obtain this inventory to make the product. So that is basically, I think, the true fact of why we haven't seen massive overproduction yet.
Because of game
used or even event used. That inventory has to come somewhere.
Right.
These jerseys have to be purchased. These autos have to be obtained. They have to be purchased. These players need to be signed to contracts. So imagine if we were just chasing basic rookie cards of Ohtani and there was no autos.
Right.
We would have an overproduction issue.
But do you think it's okay? I get that point of it, but instead of just making one set with 10 million cards of Ohtani, now we're making 40 sets with 200 autos of Ohtani each in it. Wouldn't that almost become the same result? It's the same cardboard, but it's a different set design now. So in a way, it's kind of like the same thing. They're making just as much as they did in the overproduction days.
But when we say the overproduction days, we don't know an actual final amount of 1991 Topps was made.
Right.
Was there? I mean, they would never be able to make that amount of product now.
Right. And if you look at, these sales on eBay continue to blow my mind. In the next few slides here, you'll see just some of these sales. I mean, we always talked about the Vegas Dave situation, $400,000 on a Mike Trout Superfractor. And we're talking about a card that's only freaking 9 years old at this point. So 9 years old, $400,000. There's big names in all sports. A recent 93 Jeter PSA 10, which has a pop of 22. 22 of them were graded, 99,000 with bids. I mean, 93. We're all of us that are in this hobby, that we're probably at least minimum 10 or 12 years old at that point when that card came out. And a lot of us may have had it and probably put it in a box, got all dinged up, couldn't grade it. And then you go into basketball, which is a whole other type of collector. You got $70,000 on a reprinted Michael Jordan 8/5/10 with an auto on it, or it's a buyback. Sorry, it's a buyback number to 23, Michael Jordan. And then you got logo mans that go for $30,000. These auctions are happening. I just looked today. This is just within a couple weeks of data. These are highest auctions. Logo man, dual logo man, Tracy McGrady, LeBron James, and then of course you got Tom Brady in football, which a $45,000 bid on a number to 100 contenders auto from 2000. So the money's there, and these cards are worth a lot of money on these right players. But at what point do the buyers go away? We need the buyers to have the value. So my question is, and I'm all for it going up. I'm not being a negative Nancy. I'm just simply looking at this as a whole and articulating it all. What would cause the buyers to go away?
I don't know. I mean, but all the players that you were showing are once in a generation talent,
right?
They're all going to be Hall of Famers. Minus the, I think you showed a Ohtani up there. I think the jury's still out on him. I don't think we can call him a Hall of Famer.
Right.
But he's doing something that hasn't been done in a century. So, I mean, Tom Brady, good investment, right?
Right.
Good investment.
Yeah.
LeBron James, good investment.
Good investment.
Steph Curry, good investment. Kevin Durant, good investment. James Harden, good investment. I mean, you got to be the one question mark I do have are the people who pay insane amount of money for kids who are 18 years old in single A, who are 3 to 4 years, best case scenario, hitting the majors, and you're seeing cards go for $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 of these prospects.
Right.
And we have had, in 10 years, we've had discussions about prospects that were super hot at one point, selling for 4 figures all day, and have never made the majors. That's the only part of, and the prospecting is a completely different type of collector. That's not somebody who's looking for the Jordans and looking for the Trouts. That's somebody who's looking to get into that Trout, that superfractor, get into that at $10,000, $20,000.
Hoping it's going to be Trout.
Hoping it's going to be Trout.
But the Trout has left the benchmark that it's possible, right? So if we didn't have a Trout that sold for $400,000, then we wouldn't have dreams to achieve in this sense of
I get that.
Right?
And Trout you would probably consider, if not the best baseball player in the league right now, definitely in everybody's top 5.
So love him or hate him. Vegas Dave actually vilified the hobby. I mean, there's a card that sold for $400,000. You can buy a house most everywhere for $400,000. You can buy mansions in some states for $400,000. He bought one card. So that is the dream, the chase. That is the payoff. Now I know it's not like the lottery where you can win, X amount of millions of dollars, but you still have something tangible with this hobby, right? Where you're collecting and you're prospecting, and you're like, I love this guy anyway. I want to collect him, and then maybe someday it'll be worth something, and I can fund my kid's college or something like that. But these investments are going up a lot faster, and I don't want to compare cards to the stock market. I know that's kind of a lame comparison, but some of these investments have matured way faster than some of the stocks have.
What if they made? Let's compare. I got a little off topic. Well, not on. It's still on topic, but it's not a part of your topics that you're talking about. So you basically lived through Ken Griffey Jr. from him being called up to when he retired.
Yes.
You've seen Mike Trout the whole time he's been in the majors. Mm-hmm. Compare the two. Is Griffey probably one of the best outfielders or best player of his era?
Okay.
Would you consider Mike Trout the same? And go back to 1989, and what if they short printed and made variations of the 89 Upper Deck Griffey card, and there was a 101 superfractor? Hypothetically, put a value on that card.
Right.
If there was a true 101 superfractor auto of the 89 Upper Deck Griffey card, and where would that stand right now, knowing that Ken Griffey Jr. is in the Hall of Fame? That card has to be as high as it's ever going to be right now. It can't really go up. And then do you think it would be more or less than the $400,000 of the Mike Trout card?
Man, it's hard to say because I feel like this hobby is based on what we call this show, the hype. So it's based on what the potential is, and I think the verdict isn't out on Mike Trout yet. I think collectors like to know people collect, and myself included, based on the what ifs. What could happen? What could happen? I want to look smart when I buy in early. So investing in a Ken Griffey Jr. now at 101 probably would be like, we already know what he can do. There's no up and down on that. So it's not as exciting. It's not as much of a roller coaster, but a safe investment.
But yes. you think at the end of the day, let's say in 10 years, Mike Trout's retired, and you're like, you know what? I would take Mike Trout in his prime over Ken Griffey Jr. in his prime. Now, granted, Ken Griffey Jr. had some injury problems, so he did miss some time. Mm-hmm. But he still, you got to make an argument that in his prime, he was the best player in the league.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree, and that's the we're approaching territory where we don't know because
I don't think a 89, if there was an 89 Upper Deck Superfractor 101 stamp card, I don't think it would be worth $400,000.
I wouldn't think so either.
But I also think that
what do you guys think in the chat?
But I think Ken Griffey Jr. is in his prime is just as good, if not better, than Mike Trout.
Yeah, I would say Ken Griffey Jr. is a better pro at this point, but Trout hasn't played long enough for us to know. He hasn't won. Well, Griffey didn't win a championship either.
But we're seeing Trout. This is his prime. This is as good as he's ever going to get is right now. He has about a window of about 5 years. I don't think in 5 years he's going to be better than he is now.
No. But what if he doesn't win any championships? Does that $400,000 go down? Is it not worth $400,000 anymore?
I think watching. I think Ken Griffey. He brought some swagger to baseball, and he changed He changed everything about. He was kind of the Deion Sanders of baseball.
He was, and he had swag. I mean, people bought his shoes.
He
wore the backwards hat. That kind of people kind of model up. People wore. I had a Mariners jersey because I love Griffey. As a Giants fan, I wore Ken Griffey Jr. jersey to school because I love the man so much.
So you think that say you're in high school right now, would you be sporting a Mike Trout jersey?
Probably.
You'd be like,
or Bryce Harper maybe, depending on what side of the fence you fall on there. I mean, I think those are the two big names right now. I mean, you've got Judge, you've got Ohtani and stuff too, but I think right now it's Harper and Trout and maybe Chris Bryant third. I think we had this conversation in a few episodes before. Some people made some good points in the chat talking about art. That art is kind of the same thing. That it's collectors that are paying these large amounts for the art. So I have a few questions on this. This subject as well, and I mean, do you guys think that? And I'll start with C-Rad. Do you think legalized sports betting will help or hurt this industry?
Neither.
Neither?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with neither. I'm gonna say it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna hurt it at all, and not necessarily help it either. I just see it being its own thing as it's always been.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think, Dan?
I think at the end of the day, you, regardless of the value, I think you get into this to get the tangible object, to get the physical card itself. This is also why I don't think the digital card format will ever take off, because, for 60, 70, 80 years, people have wanted the physical piece of cardboard.
Right.
You want to hold on to something.
But do you? Because a lot of people consign. A lot of people go to check out my cards.
But you have an option now. But
you have an option.
But the option, you have an option to keep it. I think people who are into sports betting, there may be some crossover between card collectors, but I think those card collectors are going to stay card collectors. They're just going to maybe pick up another hobby and doing, daily sports betting.
True. Yeah. I mean, I think that it'll be supplemented. I kind of agree there too. I mean, I think collecting is, well, that leads me to another question.
I don't like trying, because I know where we're going with this. I don't like to think of sports cards as gambling. And
well,
I
was going to ask you, that's where I'm going to go next.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, what do you think the percentage of collectors are gamblers compared to collectors?
I think in all of us, I think it's a natural reaction to have that rush of gambling when you're doing anything with somewhat of a chance. Like when you're opening up a pack at your local hobby shop, it's the same exact thing.
Right.
As getting in a break and seeing if your team hits. But I'd like to think that people still want to collect. They still have their players they want to collect. They still have their teams they want to collect. So I think it's less than 15% of people who are consistently buying sports cards who are just in it for the monetary value and the gambling aspect. Now, I think everybody has a little bit of it in them. Everybody likes the rush of gambling and see what happens. And, but I don't think that is, I think if you asked everybody, I think 15% of the people would be like, that is the only reason why I do it.
Is the gambling aspect. Yeah, I think I tend to agree that there's still more collectors. I mean, people are picky and choosing on what products they buy because they like that set or they're trying to collect that certain player. So I do believe that collecting still supersedes. I think there's less set collectors now. I mean, there's less sets to collect, it seems like, too. I mean, there's still the staple Topps products and, people still build like Prism sets and things like that. But I think there's definitely a little bit less actual set builders these days than there is because it's just, a matter of space, a matter of time. People don't have it as much as they have. But yeah, VGN says collectors want something tangible. Exactly what Dan said. I do believe that. What do you think, C-Rad, as far as percentage-wise from collectors to gamblers? What do you think the percentage is?
Dude, I think Dan was right about that. I agree with that number. It's just, and you guys are right about the collecting. I know as a kid, and I get what you're saying. Like, when I was a kid opening packs, I would hope to hit certain players that I loved watching and that I wanted to have. And looking at Beckett, I was like, oh, and I know he's valuable. So that is technically the same thing, right? It's almost the same thing, but that's because you have a physical card and you actually do keep them. As a kid, I was keeping them for sure. Like, I wasn't selling anything. I would just like to know that, oh, this card is worth $40 or whatever, you know what I mean? But
right.
I never actually went out of my way as a kid to sell them. I just kept, and I'm guessing a lot of people are the same way that are in this hobby.
And that brings up a good point about kids too. It was my next kind of thought here is that, myself, and I have a 15-year-old kid that lives with us as my wife's brother, but I think about music when I was growing up. And we started with tapes, and I know a lot of you guys had records and stuff like that. I was in the tape generation with recording tapes, buying singles for like a couple bucks and stuff like that. And to me, it was a tangible item. And we would go every Tuesday to go buy a CD. You'd open it up, you'd listen to it for that week or whatever, and if it happened to be a really good one, it'd be in your rotation for a while. But you'd have the event of going to get the CD, right? So and nowadays with music for kids being all digital, I feel like there's less tangibleness, there's less hardcore fans. I could be completely off base. I'm just seeing what I'm seeing for the generation that I get to watch, and I'm seeing less importance for music for that generation, which makes me think, okay, we've got our the 30-sums that collect cards. I would say there's a lot of the 30-sums that collect cards. A lot of us that got back in the hobby around 2010 or got back in the hobby right now, 30-sums. I don't see the generation below us right now collecting cards, but that gives us about a 30-year buffer, 40-year buffer before we start kicking the bucket. But what happens then? What happens then when those kids are like, we never collected cards, so now what does a LeBron sell for if there's no buyers?
I get what you're saying. There's a lot of things that I don't know if the generation underneath us is going to be able to figure out and do. I think sports cards is the not the first worry on my mind. I think the
in life, we're not doing a live podcast though. We're doing a sports card podcast.
But I'm saying, like, if we want to talk about generations, there's a lot of stuff that I'm really concerned with.
And to give them credit, when we were able to go into the store and buy packs of cards, they were a lot more affordable on our allowances than they are now. I mean, you can't, and I know we had that argument last week that kids don't buy cards. They don't, because they don't really know what they're buying, and a lot of the stuff, $3 or $4 a pack. That's a lot.
Yeah, but they'll probably spend like those microtransactions on like app-based games. They'll spend. I mean,
but that's instant. You don't have to go down to Target to buy that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. Like, we're in the generation now where you can order anything from Amazon and get it next day, where you can go onto a video game, and if you need help to win the video game, you can pay to win the video game. You can get a song.
That's like everything that's wrong with
video
that
games.
generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when we were playing video games, you either sat there and did it forever and got frustrated and quit, or there was no like super cheat code, or you can just go buy stuff to like allow you to win it.
Well, and a lot of times it's like you almost are forced to. A lot of these games these kids are playing, that you're playing against other kids that have all of the power ups. So how are you going to win unless you buy the power up? So, which is genius from the video game companies. I mean, hey, you're not just getting on the hook on $150 cartridge. You're getting them for free, and then you're getting them to spend a bunch of microtransactions over and over and over again. I'm just saying, do the kids these days have the attention span to collect cards? So when they turn 30, let's just say a 14-year-old kid now, 16 years from now, turns 30. I mean, are they going to be like, oh, I'm collecting cards? Like that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, and I know we always try to get the kids in the hobby, and maybe that's not the right way. Maybe we should make sure we get 30-sums in the hobby, so when they turn 30, it's like we recruit them. But I mean, I don't know.
Is that where you're going to be at the National? You're going to be the you're going to be a recruiter.
Well, if they're at the National, they're collecting cards.
Yeah.
No, no. You're going to be in like downtown Cleveland, just passing out flyers and recruiting kids to come to the National.
I think so. That, or I might go to some beer league softball.
And just start handing out packs of cards.
Or the bars. Go to the bars. Start showing photos on my phone.
How about
Super
sports
creepy.
bars?
That's what I'm saying. Be like, hey, do you know cards sell for like $20,000, dude? Yeah, you're not buying them? Come on now. Let's talk about this. This should, stop chasing girls and chase cards. Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
And that's pretty much why a lot of us got out of collecting in high school, because we were like, I don't want to chase cards, I want to chase girls.
Right, and it seems like
now we're like, I don't want to chase girls, I want to chase cards.
Yeah, pretty much, right? I mean, you get settled in life, you maybe you find a job you like, you're there, you get married, you're not looking for girls anymore. Well, you got to have something to do. You got to have a hobby. Amongst a lot of us have a lot of hobbies, so that's just one part of it. And you get to watch the game with something. You collect this guy, you want to see what he's doing, so it's like almost like a fantasy element on top of that as well. So Shawnee says, my kids are into cards now because of me, but I can see them walking away from the hobby if not for me, then coming back to it years from now because of the nostalgia and love for sports. And that could definitely happen, and that's what we're hoping at some point, that these kids do collect cards. But right now, it looks pretty bleak to me that they're going to collect cards. So, but like I said, we got about 30, 40 years of that.
Maybe it's a natural progression. So if you're going to do this, you're probably going to need to have some type of disposable income.
Right.
When you're talking to a kid who's 16 to 24. I know, speaking for myself, I had a part-time job. I didn't have a ton of disposable income, so I wasn't going to be running around to card shops and, dropping $100 or $200. That was like pretty much my whole paycheck. So I think the demographic, it has to be people who have somewhat disposable income.
Right. Yeah, same thing. I mean,
and we keep on talking about going after the kids, and I don't know how many kids that have just unlimited resources of disposable income. I just don't think it happens.
Right.
Or it exists.
Maybe, like I said, we got to recruit the 20-sums. That's like, don't focus on the 10-year-old kids, because they're going to be like, is it Fortnite? Is Fortnite in there? And you're like, no. Okay, well, I'm not collecting that.
Can we, what? So we were talking about Fortnite, and again, off topic. Does anybody know what that is? Is it an app game, or is it like a console game?
It's both.
It's both.
It's both? Is it like a first-person shooter game like Call of Duty, or
no? It's a third-person shooter. It's a shooting game.
It's a shooting game.
Yeah.
So is it like?
It's a shooting in a building game. So that people, I was watching my kids play it yesterday actually.
So it's like Minecraft.
So yeah, it's like Minecraft, but you also need to eliminate all the other players.
So it's like Warcraft. So it's like you have like
you have to build like forts. Like,
yeah.
That's why it's called Fortnite. You have to build like little houses. And then,
to protect yourself.
Exactly, or like big old the kids can build whatever they want, actually, whatever their minds think of, and then they also have to kill the other players on the field.
So it's kind of like Minecraft. You basically would just build stuff, right?
Yep.
And then
no killing unless you're killing like.
But Warcraft, you'd like build your army, and then you would try to go attack other armies.
Oh, you're not
right?
building an army in Fortnite.
Oh, so it's just you yourself.
You're just building a house.
Okay.
To protect yourself.
Cool.
And then you want to kill other human players.
So do you think mostly people play it on like app, or is it mostly played on a console?
It's probably 50-50.
50-50?
Yeah.
All right. Maybe I'll download it. Maybe I'll start building the house.
Well,
I can't afford a house in the Bay Area, so maybe I'll just build one on Fortnite.
Let's do it. Do the same. Protect myself in a digital world. Do you guys think there will ever? This is the last question before we move on to tier 1. Would you ever think that there could be a collectible that could come out that would basically take away from sports cards? And that's a very broad question, but I think we already ruled out digital. Digital can't top the real thing, even though it had sometimes on the top stuff it does. But
kind of speaking along the same lines, I think the card companies, Topps, Panini, the reason why they keep probably marketing towards kids because they probably understand that the kids themselves don't have a lot of disposable income, but they're hoping that the parents will because it's the same thing with the Fortnite or any other video game where there's like a lot of microtransactions where they're using somebody's credit card to purchase these items, right? So they're Topps and Panini is probably thinking of the same line where they get the parents to pay for this their card habit or whatever.
Yeah, and exactly. They're trying to find out different ways to spend money. And I mean, Topps has Topps Now. Panini has Panini Instant. A lot more sales direct on their website than there ever has before. So they're definitely participating in the e-commerce portion of the internet as well, more and more these days compared to selling through to distributors and things like that and having agreements with shops.
Yeah, I think the Panini Instant and the Topps Now is going after the same exact market that is buying all the Topps and all the Panini releases.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody who's just like, I'm not really into buying sealed wax. I'm just looking for whatever Topps releases in Topps Now right now. Like right now.
Yeah. And they seem to be good value on Topps Now sometimes.
I get that. Actually, well, you're right, but you can't deny it is a substantial moneymaker.
Oh, big time. Big time.
Do you think that the Ohtani auto that you that you purchased, that was what, $4.99?
$4.99, yeah.
How much you think they had Ohtani sign those cards for?
$20-$30 probably.
I would say about $60.
Yeah.
And then there's some of them that were numbered to what, 50 and
yeah, they made a lot of money that day. Yeah.
No.
They
basically put that up on the site.
went home
and just locked the doors, set the alarm, and just was like,
3 day
all right, 3-day weekend, peeps.
Bonuses for everybody. I want you guys to start the discussion on tier 1. I'll be right back, guys.
Tier 1. All right.
Review.
Well, we are the home of the bat knobs. I think we pulled like 5 or 6 of them
For the first day.
for the first day. Actually, we pulled one on Monday.
Oh, nice. Who was it?
A baseball player.
Not Michael Jordan, dude?
Can't think of the...
Michael Jordan hit a bat.
Who was it? I can't think. It'll come to me in a second. But at least our cases. I mean, I think last year we did about 30 some odd cases. We pulled like 1 bat knob, which is not great. This time we pulled 5 or 6. We're about 20 something cases in, so it's been pretty ridiculous. Conrad pulled one of the biggest cards I've seen pulled, baseball card pulled in a while. The Derek Jeter bat knob, which
top
was
5 pull for me.
Top 5 pull for sure. You pulled a Ken Griffey Jr. or not? No,
Ken Griffey?
No, a Frank Thomas. I was thinking about Ken Griffey Jr. because we were talking about him earlier. But you pulled the Frank Thomas, the big hurt autoed bat knob. But it's been good. Now it would be great at the original retail price that it was supposed to be at, like the 120 price point. You can digest that. That's fine. It's brutal. It's brutal at like the 159, 169 price point.
Well, it could be. Not if you hit a bat knob, but
not if you hit a bat knob,
or
but
Ohtani
But Ohtani is in there. He's a redemption. I have not seen him yet. I have not seen that card. I have not seen that redemption. I've seen them on eBay. I know they exist, and I think they're probably numbered to the same thing as all the other rookies that are in there. It's like $299 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good product. It's a good configuration. It works really well for breakers. I don't want to say it's a breaker product, but it's a breaker friendly product.
Definitely.
All killer.
The next screen, I think I have all the bat knobs.
All
and stuff
killer,
we
no
pulled.
filler. Some significant chases. The bat knobs are definitely a strong chase. What's that on the bottom there?
Well, it's from our Instagram. There was 5 that we pulled, but then 6. So it's a Darnold Clay Helton, not from Tier 1. You can't pull that in Tier 1.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I'm all whoa. I'm like they got the football license back. No.
So yeah, if you're listening to the podcast, we pulled a Frank Thomas autograph bat knob. I think you might have already went over this. Jose Abreu, Derek Jeter, Michael Conforto, and a limited Lumber 101 plate of Mark McGwire. So we got quite lucky, and especially for those collectors that were lucky enough to participate in that. And I think there's only about 100 bat knobs in the whole run, so we're getting the lion's share of them. It seems like.
It was the Abreu that I couldn't remember.
Yeah, we just pulled that one on Monday. So and C-Rad's pulled 2. I think I've pulled 2, and you pulled 1. So you need to pull one today to even the score, make it 6. So that's coming up after the show, and we also have a random today, $58.99 on the random team. So everybody's got a shot at the Yankees and Angels in that random that's coming up tonight. So get your spots. They're selling out quick on Tier 1, so make sure you put your name in the hat to get one of these big cards out of Tier 1. So mojobreak.com. And then you could also use the code MojoBreak for 10% off on any of the teams that are left over, and that's immediately after the show. You're talking about those blue redemptions. It looked like the Tier 1 Ohtani number to 10 sold via auction for $1,600. So
that's a good deal.
Good deal.
That's a good deal. What would that card go for if it was live?
I don't know. I thought that was a little high, personally.
I think that's a little low.
I don't know. $1,600 for a Tier 1. I mean,
think it's a little low.
Where's a Tier 1 on-card auto going to rank in the grand scheme at the end of the day?
I think it's a little low. It's Ohtani. It's worth at least $10,000. I mean,
good investment then on that blue piece of paper.
No, I mean, I think live it's probably worth about $2,500. I think that $1,600 is a good deal. Those are good cards. It's a good.
10 of them, yeah.
Only 10 of them. It's a silver ink. It's on card. I think you're selling that short, Doug. I think you should have bought that.
I should have. I got outbid at $60. So, damn it, man, couldn't get it. But yeah, you know what? Also, kind of, on a negative side of things, what kind of pisses people off is that they see those Ohtani tops now coming out, and then they have these pending. I don't think people understand the process of that. That their card's waiting to get filled, and then a Topps Now card comes out of the guy.
Yep.
So I mean that kind of. I guess there's budgetary reasons in that.
I mean, I get it. It's kind of a swift kick.
It's like, oh, you got a set. You mail ordered from Topps and you got it, and I bought a box and I pulled it lucky, and I'm still waiting. It kind of sucks. So feel your pain on that. I've sat through that with redemptions as well.
Every time we talk about, not to cut you off, sorry. Every time we talk about redemption, I'm gonna have to say this. I've been waiting 3 years for Amari Cooper, Immaculate Collegiate RPA, people. 3 years, all right?
What's your boy doing?
I don't know.
Well, that sucks. Your investment went from like $400 to like $25.
Every time we talk about
I don't know
redemptions and people complaining about waiting for the redemptions, I'm just going to bring that up every single time.
Because didn't Cooper come to training camp last year? A little hefty. Looked like he put on some poundage. He's got to put down the cheeseburgers and pick up that pen, dude.
I know, man.
Sign some autographs for you.
Speaking of that, I think I have one from like 2012. But I think
Cooper,
like,
I don't think he was.
I don't
think he was drafted yet.
No,
Got him.
I mean, I think for something, but it wasn't that big of a card. So I'm trying to remember my login for Panini. I'm gonna look right now just to see. Here we go.
Dude,
Sheldon.
I heard Chucky bought him an auto.
I'm gonna say
machine.
Sheldon Richardson.
I have one pending from 2012 active. Let's see what it was.
Should ask for a replacement.
Chris Durham from the Seahawks from 2011 Gridiron Gear, number to 299. I mean, my life has been ruined from waiting for a Chris Durham.
That is a staple of your PC, though.
To
I mean, that
$299.
goes straight. That goes. I mean, you got to contact Panini, see if that can go straight to Beckett to get graded. 1 day service, back to here, get its own display case. We take out the Manions. and we just have a shrine to the Chris Durham.
I'm so pissed off that my PC's not complete because of my Chris Durham 2011 Gridiron Gear Signatures Gold number to 299 is not in my hand.
When they send it to you, be like, wait a second, I thought I got Chris Bryant, not Chris Durham.
I got one in 2013 too. Drew Gooden auto from 1213 Limited Masterful Marks number to 99.
I think Drew
haven't received that one yet.
I think that's back when Drew Gooden was in the league.
2014, I got a Marcus Latimer. Rookie jersey autograph redemption.
He
had a stellar 49er career.
They could probably keep that one.
Maybe I can request some awesome replacements on this. And then I have 2016, which is a couple. Steve Nash, signature move auto. TJ Warren. Oh, I got a Khalil Mack for the Raiders, Rookie of the Year contenders autograph. I'm waiting for.
He ain't signing.
I'm waiting for that too.
Yeah, what's up with the Raiders? They don't want to sign.
I wonder what you would get for
too busy winning championships.
The Marcus Latimer. would they send you a Glen Coffee?
They might. All right, we'll briefly touch on the NBA Finals, guys. As you know, we are Warrior fans, so it's hard for us to go ahead and digest this unbiasedly. But we will talk about it as it is the next big thing that's happening in sports, which is tomorrow we will see the game from Oracle Arena with Mr. Kevin Durant, with Mr. LeBron James, Steph Curry. I want to know, are you guys tired? In the chat, are you guys, as I asked this question on Twitter, are you guys tired of the Cavaliers and the Warriors in the finals for the fourth time? Is it a legacy? Is this something we're going to look back 20 years from now and be like, man, that was just an incredible 4 years of basketball, two teams at the top of their game? Or are you like, I am tired of these two teams, F them all? I want to know what your guys' opinion is. Because I asked the poll, I had a poll on Twitter that I asked on this subject, and I gave three options, and it was split three ways, believe it or not. We had, I said, as an NBA fan, are you excited for the fourth chapter of Warriors versus Cavaliers? 34% said yes, 38% said no, and 28% said tired of the two teams. So actually, 30% said they were excited, 70% said they weren't. So, and what does this do for the hobby? This is obviously not the greatest matchup for this hobby, right? What does this do for the hobby?
Dude, it's Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, LeBron James, Draymond Green. Like, what else do you want?
Did you put on there like an option? Are you tired of? This is a fair question.
Are you just mad? Are you just mad because your team isn't in it? Is that an option?
No. Are you tired that LeBron's in the finals for the freaking
eighth time? Eighth time in a row?
A decade.
8th time in a row.
Nah, the king's the king.
Quickly, did you guys see the Family Matters video?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that video.
They did a Family Matters with like.
Has Dan seen
it? I didn't watch it. I skipped right through it.
It said produced by David Silver at the end.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I'll show it to Dan real quick.
Yeah, but it's a little. See, it's got the whole intro, everything. That's a nice. I love the videos they used.
Whoever did this did a great job. Shout out to the person who made this video.
Right, they got the right videos.
This is my favorite.
Oh, yeah. If you're listening to it on the podcast, there's a Family Matters video spoof of the Warriors Cavs.
Nick Young is trying to get turned up.
Trying to get turns.
Trying to get turned.
Yeah, that was a good parody video. But I'm just saying, in terms of the hobby, since it's a hobby-related show that we do, which player could benefit, win or lose on this? What card could possibly go up? You know, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't really help out the hobby these two teams are in, because their cards are already cemented as far as value. Does LeBron go up anymore? Probably not. Does KD?
LeBron wins. It does. He goes.
You think he goes up a little bit?
Yeah.
KD could probably go up a little bit. His chromes.
Okay. I think whatever team wins, I think you can see a push in their value of cards, and whoever wins the Finals MVP, significant push to their value.
I just think that when you have like a young and upcoming, like a rookie that's like one of the top 10 rookies were on one of these teams, even regardless if they played or not, like but they won a finals, I think that helps more so than anything that's going to go on with these teams because of hype.
What if LeBron? Let's say LeBron. This is eight years in a row, right?
Yeah.
Going to the finals. What if LeBron goes to 10 finals in a row? Greatest player ever? I mean, I know everybody is just tired of that conversation.
Well, you love him so much. Do you think he's going to beat the Warriors?
I don't think he's going to beat the Warriors, but I love seeing him play in the finals. I love watching, even if LeBron's going against the Warriors, I watching LeBron James play basketball. He is, dude. Nobody controls the game. Nobody. It doesn't. Look at him. He's just so awesome.
Yeah, he is.
I got a man crush on LeBron James. I can't help it.
Was that the Family Matters? That was a Family Matters or the Full House theme song?
Family Matters.
Family Matters.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, wait, no. As Days Go By, that's Full House theme, isn't it? That's the Full House theme.
Oh, maybe it is.
But they called it the Family Matters parody, right? So the person that did the parody was incorrect?
No, it's the
No, because bring up the Family Matters theme.
Yeah, that's different.
Okay. I think they're written by the same person, though. I think
Could
there was
be.
no. There was one person that did all these back in the 80s and 90s. Oh, as days go by, right?
Wait for the chorus.
I'll just switch it on you guys real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's Family Matters.
It is the same vocalist, though.
It is.
That's the same.
It is. It's yeah. Guy made a lot of money on those two shows back in the day. Now, did we get? I don't even want to touch on the topic on why they use the Family Matters theme song over the Full House, because I think that could be a whole other controversial topic there. So we'll skip that one. We'll let you think about that one. But anyways, yeah, LeBron James. Does he have any shot? How many games? How many games are we going?
5.
So he's getting 1. You're saying
He's getting 1. Warriors in 5. He's getting 1 in Cleveland.
1 in
That's it.
Cleveland.
That's it.
So, but isn't it so his legacy is not going to be tarnished in the fact that he's lost more finals than anybody else in NBA history?
Can't do it all, man.
Is he going to be? Is it 3-6 if he loses, or is it 3-7 if he loses?
So that means he's been to 10?
I think he's been 8, and he was this would be 9, and right?
Because
he went to 1 with Cleveland.
Yeah.
And lost.
Yep.
The first time.
Then he went to 3 in Miami.
3 in Miami. Yes.
1-2, right?
1-2, lost 1 to the Spurs.
Yep. Then he went. Now this is the 4th in a row.
And he's won 1. Well, he's won 1 out of 3.
So he's been to 8.
He's been this is the 8th in a row, so this will be the 9th total.
Ninth.
So he would be 3-6 total
if he loses.
If he loses this.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the argument. That's going to be the end all argument from Michael Jordan supporters, is the fact that he was 3-6. But
and the argument's going to be because there's always the LeBron doesn't have anybody on his team, and when LeBron did have somebody on his team, he had the Heatles. He won 2. He's only won 1 without having a supporting cast.
But he had
Kyrie and he had Kevin Love. Yeah.
Which I actually take the Stephen. I don't. A lot of times I don't agree with Stephen A. Smith, but he chastised reporters and everybody for saying that this is LeBron's greatest achievement because he played some whack teams. He played, and I'm not saying the Pacers are whack, but going full 7 on them, they had a struggle. Could have went either way. The Raptors were scared, and the Celtics were young. So saying it's the greatest achievement, he didn't play the greatest teams this run. As Stephen A. Smith's like, don't give this man all the credit for being the greatest season he's ever had because of his cast of characters.
Played 82 games.
But who cares? There's a lot of guys who played 82 games.
He played 82 games and he was dominant all year. He played amazing. He played amazing in the playoffs. He basically single-handedly what happens if, let's say, LeBron James gets hurt, doesn't play the playoffs? We can all agree that the Cavaliers are out in the first round, right? I mean, they were almost out of the first round with LeBron James.
Right. No, he's the MVP, no doubt. But I'm just saying, trying to say this is his best accomplishment. I agree with Stephen A. Smith saying he had a pretty easy run. He struggled.
The Pacers were tough. The Raptors were the number 1 seed, weren't they?
Yeah, but they
Okay.
Daddy LeBron always.
And the
always gets
Celtics were the 2 seed, right?
The Celtics were the 1 seed.
I thought the Raptors.
Oh no, 2 seed. Yeah, Raptors were 1, Celtics were 2.
So LeBron just went through the 1 and 2 seed to get to the finals. What else? What else you want him to do?
No,
you want him to go through the 3 seed? You want to go 3, 2, and 1?
The East is weak. That's the problem. The East didn't create a lot of challenge for him.
You got to play the other 5 guys who are in front of you. It doesn't really matter.
Well, let's see if he comes to the West next year. We'll talk about his greatest achievement. I think he should go to the West and shut up the haters.
I think he should go to the Rockets.
We'll see. He may.
I think that would be if you put LeBron James on the Rockets. I don't know if the Warriors even get close to winning.
And Corey, we'll be talking about essentials here actually shortly. But I wanted to talk about. Is it time to sell Simmons? Some news broke to me. Ben Simmons, up and coming, probably the rookie of the year, possible top 5 guy of all time. He is now under the Kardashian curse. So if you look at the history of the Kardashian athletes or actors, they've all had the worst years of their life. They've all become James Harden dated a Kardashian, had the worst year of his life.
Who did he?
James. I think it was Khloe. So I know she's not a Kardashian, but Kendall Jenner, he's now dating her. And after she dated Blake Griffin, basically, and we all know what happened to Blake Griffin. He went to Detroit. The absolute data of all the Kardashian tragedies that have happened, and don't believe me, I don't hate the Kardashians. I'm just saying it's like a Madden curse scenario. The Madden curse has these guys on the cover. They don't perform. The odds are there. So if you go through and you look at you got Lamar Odom, obviously. You have Reggie Bush, who had a good college career. You have Dan's favorite, Lord Disick.
The Lord D.
Lord Disick. You got Tristan Thompson. You got what happened to Bruce Jenner. Wow. I mean, not the tragedy there. I mean, I know it's a tragedy. Hold on a second. Alleged. I'm just reading what people are saying, but the life-changing what happened with Bruce Jenner. I'm just saying, it might be a time to put your Simmons up and get a high value for him because he may be in for a bad year.
Miles Austin
he's
dated
the Kardashian
one of them.
bug.
Miles Austin dated one of them, right?
Miles Austin, yep.
I think we're missing something. Tristan Thompson, he's in the finals.
He's in the finals.
He's doing good. He's changing up the curse.
Arguably had one of the worst NBA finals of any big man of all time last year. So, so here's all the celebrities. Lamar Odom, Scott Disick. There was a few other. Kanye West has had some troubles, obviously. He's still in the fold. Black China and Rob Kardashian. Chris Humphries. The Humphries. He's a punchline now. Reggie Bush's football career we just mentioned. So I'm just saying, just pay attention to this news if you're a Ben Simmons collector. Watch a few games next year. This is obviously more of a joke. This is obviously more of a joke than anything, but the data is there.
So no.
Which one's Kendall's the youngest one, right?
I don't know. They look alike.
She's the oldest of the 2 Jenner sisters.
She's like the tall one, right?
Yes.
She's like the model, right?
Yes.
They morphed from a Jenner to Kardashian to me because they looked more Jenner. Now they look more Kardashian. I did mention Reggie Bush as well. There's been a lot of horror stories more than there's been success stories. It's hard to find a success story there. James Harden dated I can't remember who, but one of them.
Did you say horror stories?
Horror stories.
Okay, just wanted to be sure.
More horror stories. So keep an eye on this if you're collecting Simmons and make sure that because my opinion here is when you're with a Kardashian, not that I've ever dated one, but the media attention is on steroids. You go to the store, you're getting.
Why?
Because it's them that everybody follows them.
I understand, but I'm like, why?
I don't understand why either. But I'm just saying it's easy to crack and get pissed off. You're just trying to go get gas in your car. What about Chloe? What about Rob?
Isn't the whole family famous for a tape that was made with Ray J?
Oh, Ray J's career is ruined as well.
Did he have a career? Like what happened to him? He was like the co-star in that movie. What happened to his career?
Done. He had a couple singles before that. He's done too.
And that's Brandy's brother, right?
Correct. Brandy went to Kobe's prom with him, but obviously didn't marry him. So it's an interesting scenario. But I'm saying the media attention is on steroids, and I think that's what causes these guys to crack and have, you can't go to the gym without being asked something. Hey, what's with Bruce? What's with Caitlyn? What's with Chloe and Kanye? Blah 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 blah. Do you have a comment on that? You have a comment on that? It's like, I'm just trying to wash my car. I'm just trying to go to the store. Just trying to go to practice. And then all you can think about is probably what's going on in their lives, because their lives they're the number one family in America. Sadly, they did nothing.
Still trying to understand what they're famous for.
Yeah.
And is just to show you how much I really am disconnected. Is that show even on? The show's still on?
I think so. Season 15 or 20 or something.
I mean, is Keeping Up with the Kardashians still a thing?
I think we're still keeping up with them.
Busta said Simmons is next Wiggins. Dude, Wiggins couldn't sniff a triple-double his first season.
Yeah, I mean, Simmons is a lot taller, a little bit more talented, but yeah, I mean, his shot is something to be worried about. So, a question that we've all asked for years: what are they actually famous for? O.J. Simpson. That's when it all started, and then the video.
But the family isn't famous because of O.J. Simpson. It was just the dad was friends and part of his council.
With Ross from Friends, I know. It's
yeah,
crazy.
with Ross from Friends.
We were on a break.
I think that the mom is an amazing marketer, kind of like LeVar Ball in a sense, that she knows how to get their name out there. She got the show. She's got they all have their individual lines now.
My thing is, why did the show happen? Like, at what point were they, like, did somebody, because isn't it Ryan Seacrest who's, like, one of the producers or something? Was he just like, man, there's, like, this family in Calabasas, like, they're so interesting, I just want to go follow them around. Why?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Like, how did, because I know nobody knew who Kim Kardashian really was until the,
that's right. She was friends with Paris. So Paris Hilton had that tape first.
She had a tape.
She had the tape. She was friends with Kim. They were going out a lot.
So
Kim got asked a lot of questions.
So she's like, I'm going to make a
interested. Tape. They got the show deal. She got a tape, which could have been
planned. They got a show deal, and then the tape came out. I think the tape came out, then they got a show deal, which is bizarre. If that's all you got to do to get in Hollywood. Word?
I know. And then they just ran with it. They never let go. They didn't have 15 seconds of fame. They had 15 years of fame now. They've just drawn it out. And countless rappers and
they've
actors.
Had from what I know, they've had so many like spin-offs of the show. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that's probably the longest I'll ever talk about the Kardashians. I promise you guys we'll never talk about it again. Essentials. You guys are like, Jesus Christ. So what did I get myself into listening about the Kardashians today? Essentials basketball came out today. We did a case. It was nice. We got a lot of nice names for autographs. The inserts are going to be something to watch. I want to know what you guys think of this. This looks like it's one per case. It's licensed to dominate. It's cut like a license, and it has a barcode on the back like a license. I don't know if this is going to get you in the club. You might be able to try, put a Lakers jersey on, say I'm Lonzo Ball, and get in the club and get VIP. I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not. But
it's only rookies, or
no, because there's a Ben Simmons with a facsimile.
My next DMV photo, I may just show up with a jersey and some shorts.
Dude,
take my picture.
That guy that plays fake Klay Thompson, he could.
Oh yeah,
Klay Thompson was in the set.
Just get the Klay Thompson card. No, I know there's a Ben Simmons. He may be the only non-rookie, which I actually think is kind of genius on their part because it's a facsimile auto, so it's the first licensed Panini card that kind of resembles having a Ben Simmons autograph. But which I don't know how they got around putting a facsimile auto of Ben Simmons on there if they don't have a license for him.
That's a shot at upper
was
deck,
that
bro.
was that the middle was that the middle finger to UD?
Yep.
It might be. But so they have these. They have the Kobe All Rookie team, which if you guys remember were in hoops. Those look like they're one per case. So lots of chases in there. Like I said, a lot of good autographs that we pulled. A lot of vets and legends that we pulled in the first case. And the card stock on the base looks premium. It's about a 55 point. Got kind of that flare kind of look. So I don't have an opinion on value quite yet, but I like the first case. I want to see some more. That's where I stand on it.
I like that insert. I know it's not card regular and it's a little funky, but you got to give the design department with Panini a little props on trying to do something a little different. Now you were saying there was a set in the 90s that looked like a credit card.
Yep, it's actually right on our Twitter. It's Donruss, 1995 Donruss, and they actually had some. You probably can't. Obviously, you guys can't see it, but
is
they
that
had
a signature
on the back on the credit card part.
on the sign here line?
Yep.
That's pretty badass.
Yep. So they had, but those ones were actually embedded like a credit card. They had the the numbers popped out.
Now were those inserts or were those like the whole pack?
No, they had the whole set, and I remember there was gold parallels that weren't numbered because I had some of them. I think it might have been Pinnacle. It might have been Donruss Pinnacle that had the credit card feel. I don't remember the autograph version, so I don't know where that came. But maybe it's Studio. Yeah, it's Studio. Bus has got it. Studio credit card trading.
You're right. We
cards.
should do a case break of that. All base shipped.
1995 Studio, I believe. Yep. Here's the Ken Griffey Jr. They have the gold parallel and the silver parallel. I don't think that they were numbered. One of them might have been more rare than the other. But it does look like they did have autographs on the back of those. So that is the set. You're looking at the back of the card that has autographs on it. So pretty cool. I don't know. Flash in the pan, but Panini's kind of made their own kind of thing. And it's in Essentials, which we do have a random team case break tonight, $48. Get all base shipped in that one. So you can check that out later on at mojobreak.com. I wanted to do a quick preview before we shut off of Finest coming out next week. I just posted a few more PYT cases of Finest, and this is going to be a good one. It's 2 autos per box. Got a lot of chase. Got old school guys, Jeter. Got some buyback autos. Got refractors. Ohtani's in there. So it'll be a fun set. That's going to come out next Wednesday. So get your teams in on that for next Wednesday. They have Finest Career Achievements this year. They always do that every year. They're doing Cal Ripken this year. So there'll be a lot of different Cal Ripken parallels in there to chase. And obviously everybody will be going after Ohtani on that as well. So look forward to that.
It's also one of the staple releases every year. So
it is.
Everybody, Finest is, one of those releases that definitely has a specific following. People do really like the Finest cards. I'm one of them. I know it doesn't have a huge autograph content, but the card designs, it's always one of those base card designs that's very distinct to that set, kind of like tribute, and it looks really, really nice.
Yeah. It's a beautiful design and that nice foil to it. And, a lot of these rookie cards like the Devers, they'll have SPs and stuff, and they become one of the top rookie cards to collect. So I wanted to I saw this on Craigslist. Actually, Blowout posted this. I thought it was pretty funny. It was a 1991 complete set of Topps cards. Somebody wants 400 or best offer.
It's a good deal. It's
the entire set. If you want to talk about Beckett value, about $10.
The industry's hot right now. It's
cash in.
It's hot.
Yep, you got a whole set of 1991 there for $400. It's a deal. I'm surprised it's still up there, guys. You may want to go ahead and contact them about that. Or actually, I'm sorry, that's not 1991. That's 1987 or 1988. Either way, it's the same thing.
Even older. The older, the more expensive.
Oh God, maybe they should be asking $500 then.
That's vintage, bro. That's vintage.
Does it include the binder? Yeah, I think it does. So you pay $15 for the card, $385 for the binder, basically, and the sleeves. And they're in order, too, which is, that's another selling feature, right? They're already in there for you. You don't have to put them in the binder. I see a Dave Parker, I think, right there. I mean, that's awesome. Probably a number order.
See, I used to do it by team, but it looks like they did it by number, huh?
I did it by team, too.
Yeah.
My parents used to put it under the tree for the holiday season. I had the 86, 87, 88, and 89. I think they stopped 89. But I had all those in binders. So, yeah, 89, Doug. Yeah, that's right. Which I have that set, too. Maybe that's mine. Maybe somebody's got mine. They're selling it for $400. They stole it in my garage. I got to go home and check. $400 bill. So, all right, guys. Well, we're going to get live with Tier 1. It's not sold out, so that's why we ran the show a little bit longer. But get your teams in on that. Use code MojoBreak for 10% off. And let me hit the outro music. And thanks, guys, for tuning in. MojoBreak.com.
And that's it. Thanks for watching this episode. Visit mojobreak.com for more info and your break spot. And we will see you next time on